What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I have basically put together and sort of like curated a makeup bag right over here. And inside this makeup bag, I have put all of the makeup essentials that you need for every single day. And what makes this makeup bag just so much better is the fact that it is completely affordable. I would say like 98% of the things that I put in here can be found at the drugstore, whereas like the other 2% is still like really affordable brands. They're just not products that you can necessarily find at the drugstore, but still very affordable. I feel like in the makeup world, we sometimes get caught up in the idea that more is always more. And while that could be true sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, on an everyday basis, especially if you work, if you go to school, you don't have time to apply a shit ton of makeup all over your face. You sort of just want and need the essentials that will get the job done in as little time and steps as possible, right? So all the products that I put in here have that in mind. Probably also tell that I'm wearing absolutely no makeup on my face right now. So I'm going to be taking all the products that I put in here and I'm going to be putting them on and sort of just like talking you through them just so you have like a better idea of what they're all about. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy today's video. Don't forget to let me know all of your thoughts down below. Let me know some of your like must-have items in your everyday makeup bag. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and of course subscribe if you want to join the fam, because fam is pretty great. I say that in every single one of my videos because it's true. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first product that I think is a must in literally anybody's routine is a nice moisturizer. A moisturizer is going to make the makeup that you put on top of it just sit so much better. I think I've said this 1,000 times in my videos because it's so true. If you have a nice layer of just moisture on, it just makes everything glide on better, it settles better onto the skin, it lasts better. So that is something that I definitely really recommend. Even if you do have oily skin, moisture is always important. So the one that I'm gonna be using today is from Olay. This is the Olay Luminous Whip. This is a really nice one from the drugstore, and I actually really do like this for underneath makeup because it does give the skin like a slightly sort of like dewy luminous finish. So especially if you have dry skin and you want to give your skin a little bit of a glow, this is a really nice product. I actually did not include a primer in this makeup bag, but for me, I really do feel like a moisturizer does a really great job in replacing my primer, and I don't have oily skin, so I don't feel like I need any extra oil control or anything. So for foundation today, this is total personal preference. I would just recommend using a foundation that is a medium coverage. That way you could sheer it out when you want to, you know, have a bit more of like a light coverage day, or you could build it up if you want something a little bit more full coverage on any particular day. So for me, I really love the L'Oreal Pro Glow. It works really well for my skin type. And on this stipple brush, this is the Zoeva 104 Buffer. I'm just gonna buff this into my skin. Now, if you wanna take the same foundation that you use every single day and sort of change the coverage on it, like let's say you wanna make this foundation a little bit more light coverage, you could always mix in a little bit of your moisturizer and it will sheer it out. And obviously the more moisturizer you mix in, the sheer the foundation will become. And that way, if you really are trying to be very minimal with your makeup collection, you don't have to have like 3 different foundations. You could have just one and sort of just play around with it to get different effects. So next up for concealer, I included the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. What I do like about this concealer is that it's not like a super dewy, lightweight, sort of nothing concealer. It does have some nice solid coverage to it. And what I also really like about this product, especially for around the face, is the fact that it isn't like really dewy or emollient. It definitely has a little bit more of like a semi-matte natural finish to it. So if you do want to use something like this on a breakout, it won't slip and slide all over the place. It will actually cover up the breakout and stay in place. Of course, it works beautifully underneath the eyes. So moving on to powder, this is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder, one of my favorite powders from the drugstore. This product really does remind me so much of the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. It has that same texture to it. It's very finely milled. When you touch it, it is silky smooth. Of course, this is supposed to be like a minimal little makeup kit, so I didn't want to include 2 powders, one for the face, one for the under eyes. This powder works really great for both, so that's what we're gonna be using today. I'm just gonna take a fluffy brush and sort of just grab a little bit of this stuff, really not too much, because you guys know I'm not really a powder girl. I sort of just like to powder underneath my eyes, and that is it. So I'm just gonna take a teeny tiny amount and just set my under eyes with this product, and it's done. So next up, let's bronze. I included my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Why? Because this stuff is the shit. This bronzer smells amazing, the color is great, it looks amazing on the skin, but what I love most about it and why I wanted to specifically include it in today's little makeup kit is the fact that it's buildable. You can get a very, very sheer wash of color with this bronzer, or you could build this up if you want it to be just a little bit more intense, which is why I like it, because you can get really any look out of it depending on, you know, your mood and how you're feeling. So I'm just going to use this fluffy brush. This is the Zoeva 108, and I'm going to use this to bronze my face, but also to sort of like shape my face a little bit, because I did not include a contour powder in this little kit just because I didn't really feel like it was necessary, especially for everyday contouring is definitely not a necessity. But you could totally get like the same effect with bronzer. Bronzer totally shapes the face as well, whereas contour chisels it. I like rarely go in with a dedicated contour powder. I will typically just shape my face with bronzer, and to do that, I sort of just really concentrated on my cheekbone area, and you can see that shadow that that bronzer gives you. It just makes your face look a little bit more defined, and it warms everything up at the same time as well. So for my blush, I included the Burt's Bees Bare Peach Blush. And I really think like something like this, something's a little bit more neutral. Obviously this leans a little bit more on the peachier side, but a color like this could really go with any lip color, any like eyeshadow that you put on your eye, which is why I really like it. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of this on the apples of my cheeks, and it doesn't add a ton of color to the face. I mean, obviously depending on your skin tone, for me, it just sort of adds a little bit of a flush and nothing too crazy intense, but it gives you that like much needed color. Okay, so for my highlighter, I wanted to include a liquid highlighter. So this is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Glotion. This product isn't like a super, super intense glowy product. So you're able to get away with using this in a few different ways. You could use this as your base, like before you apply your foundation, if you want like a super, super glowy, dewy look. For me personally, I actually really like mixing this in directly into my foundation. I just feel like it gives a little bit more of like a natural glowy look like that. I mean, it's sort of the same thing, but that's just like the method that I like to use. Or of course, you could just pinpoint exactly where you want this, put it on top of your cheekbones, above your eyebrow, on your chin, on your nose, really wherever you want that glow. You could apply it on top of your foundation, underneath your foundation if you want something a little bit more subtle. This color is really, really pretty. What's the color here? It's the 902 Light Glow. And I'm just gonna pop that right on top of my cheekbones and blend it out. And this is definitely not like a super blinding in your face highlight, but honestly for everyday, something like this is so perfect because it will always look good in natural light. Sometimes really intense highlighters could be beautiful, but those are like the types of highlighters that I like to reserve more for nighttime, because in natural light, they could look a little bit too metallic and sparkly on the tops of your cheekbones. This is definitely way more natural looking. It sort of just gives the effect that you're actually naturally glowing. So I was going through all of my eyeshadow palettes trying to figure out what eyeshadow I wanted to include. So after going through all of my affordable palettes, I really do think that the Morphe palettes do give you the best bang for your buck. Now, I would not recommend getting one of those like giant Morphe palettes that are like literally the size of your face, because that's not great, especially if you want to carry this makeup bag around. You cannot fit that in this tiny little bag. These, however, are pretty compact and you get a nice amount of eyeshadows in here. So this palette is the 15N, the Night Master, and I really do feel like the whole like combination of shades in here just gives you so many different options. You really do have everything that you need. You have a nice variety of mattes in here, which is what I was looking for, looking through all of my drugstore and affordable palettes. And you also have some really, really great metallic shades for all over the lid. The only shade in here that you may want that this does not include is a matte black. However, a matte black is definitely not hard to find. You can find that in literally any other palette. The shades in here though I think are great also because they're not too warm. It's not like those fiery warm shades are also not too cool toned. All these shades lean pretty neutral, which I think is always like just universally flattering. And I also love the fact that you have this ginormo mirror. So I'm just gonna do something very simple today just to show you that you can get a really great everyday look out of this. So I'm first gonna go into the first shade in here, which is called Custom. It's the Matte Cream. And I'm just going to take that on a fluffy brush and sort of just swipe that right above my crease. Okay, and now I'm gonna go into the shade Goals. Same brush, just pop this into my crease. So now I'm gonna go into Unique, which is the second shade of the palette. This is really pretty champagne. And on my finger, I'm just gonna swipe this all over my lid just to add something a little bit sparkly. Ba-ba-boom, right over here. Pop that on the outer corner just to deepen things up a little bit. And then I'm just gonna very quickly take a little bit more goals, It sounds so weird, and just like put that underneath my lower lash line to add a bit of a shadow there. And this is like one of my quickest go-to eye looks when I wanted to look like I like put some effort into my eyes, but this really takes maybe 3 minutes total. I did include a little eyeliner in this kit just because an eyeliner is always a great addition to have in an everyday kit. I would always recommend a dark brown eyeliner just because I feel like it's just softer for every day. One of my favorites is the NYX Slide On Glide On Stay On, definitely a turn on waterproof, extreme waterproof eyeliner, and this one is in the shade Brown Perfection. Yeah, I think I've mentioned this so many times on my channel. It's just like a really nice deep dark brown, and these NYX eyeliners are great because they are super creamy. So you can apply them on your upper lash line and they will glide right on. They will not pull, and they also do last like a really nice amount of time. I actually am just gonna put some on the back of my hand, just like a touch. Take a little angle brush, pick some up, put some of that on my upper lash line just to make my lash line look a little bit thicker. For mascara, again, use really any mascara of your choice. I've actually been using and really liking lately the L'Oreal, the Luminous Lash Paradise. As you guys know, I love the Maybelline Lash Sensational. That is an oldie but a goodie for me. I've been trying though to experiment with some different mascaras because I didn't want to continue to use the same one every single day because that's not fun for anybody. I actually originally did not like this mascara, but I find that when it dries out a little bit, so like a month later or a few weeks later, it becomes so much better. Okie dokie, let us finish up the look. So let's do some brows. So for my brows today, taking my Maybelline Total Temptation Brow Definer in deep brown. This is just a really nice, pretty simple brow pencil, nothing too crazy. If I wasn't limiting this video to just drugstore and affordable options, then I totally would have included the Nude Sticks Brow Stylus? I forget what it's called. The Nude Sticks Brow Pencil, because it has a brow pencil on one end, and then on the other end it has the gel. So it's just such a great everyday product because it has two products that you almost always use right after one another, just in one very convenient place. And it's a nice little brow pencil. And the gel is probably one of my favorite brow gels I've ever used. It is so long wearing and it keeps your brow hairs just in place the whole entire day. And it's also not like super pricey either. Now to set my brows, I'm just gonna take my Essence Make Me Brow. And this is definitely lighter than the brow pencil that I applied, so it's gonna lighten it a little bit and soften the very dark brow look that I just was rocking a few minutes prior. So for the lip product, I wanted to include one lip product, but I know that's not realistic because obviously day to day, you know, what you want is gonna change. But I think just having like a good sheer lip product is such a go-to. So I really like this one from L'Oreal. It's from the Color Reach Shine collection in the shade 908 Sparkling Rose. It's this really pretty, just like sheer rosy pink, perfect for the summertime too. So this is what this looks like. And I bet if you were to blot this, it would take the shine away and you would be left with more of a stain. Let's test out this theory. I have a Sephora bill here that I can use to blot this. And I was correct. You could blot this down, ladies and gentlemen, and it will give you just a little bit of wash of color with no shine. But I mean, I love the shine, so I'm gonna build it up again. So that finishes off the look. This is like such an easy, fresh, everyday look to pull off. Obviously, this is just one of many looks you could wear with all of these products. So guys, that's everything in this little makeup bag. I hope you enjoyed this video and enjoyed seeing me put all the products on my face. I also hope that it was helpful. Let me know if you end up putting together like your own little curated, everyday essential, minimalistic makeup bag. I was trying to think of another word, but that's really all I got. And if you do end up putting one together, please send me a picture on Twitter or on Instagram, really anywhere. Of course, give this video a big thumbs up. Don't mind that little eyeliner smudge in my hand. Just click that thumbs up button down below. And of course, subscribe if you are not subscribed already. So that's it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.